They don't play
Yeah,
fair. They get you when you're cuffed, or they jump
all
on you, bunch of dudes. Like, it's a shitty place to be for sure.
Lebanon was similar to that with corruption, and a lot of people from out of state probably don't know, but that's a notoriously known corrupt prison where I did some of my time, and it's the same shit. I'm telling you, like from things I seen and went through, it's very traumatizing. People think, oh, you go to prison, do your time, and come home. There's days that I just randomly think of things that went on there that I'm like, and the COs, they love to fight you down there. They will literally take off their body cam, take off their walkie, go in the room and fight you while the other CO ain't gonna say shit, and they're gonna be the one to tell y'all if a captain or something's coming. It's like the most fucked up
Yeah.
spot. They're not gonna let you get caught because they want you to handle this shit. Like they don't want no write up, nothing on paper. It's wild, bro. Like,
No, they're over there holding the door and shit.
right. So when he was telling me, he actually sent me a link about a riot, and they lied. It was a 5-man. No, it was an 8-man. It was a this man, bro. It was like a 14, 15 person involved, and they started out lying, saying it was like 5 individuals. They tried to cover it up. It snowballed. They found out it was weapons involved. It was all these. They broke lock mechanisms, so it went from one thing to this huge thing that they covered up. And I actually did a
Yeah.
video. That was just my entry into learning about Nevada. I've been kind of looking into like different states, Alabama. So when I found, you, as far as, even though you're from Utah, you did time in different parts. So for anyone who don't understand that, the feds don't keep you in your state, right? They send you wherever the fuck they.
Well, so I'm not actually from Utah. My indictment came out of Utah.
Where you from?
So if
Where you
you don't
from at?
give them an address to go to, wherever your last indictment came out of, that's just where they send you. So because my last indictment came out of Salt Lake, that's why they sent me here. I did live up here though for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I was born and raised in San Diego. I lived in Seattle, Boise, Idaho
Okay.
Falls, down here, Portland, and then Vegas was where I was living when I caught all my cases.
Hey, I legit.
So yeah, so that's why I was in high desert. I was living in Vegas when I caught the first weapons case, and then I went to state prison out there.
Got you. I really thought you was from Utah, so that's why I said that. But I'm glad now I got it on the same page. I've heard of people going all over the country in the feds. Like you would be like 8 states away from your family. That's crazy to me that I've done time like the farthest was like 6 hours from my house. Hearing people talking about you could be in Atlanta or Nevada or fucking just anywhere. That shit's crazy to me that they fly you on a plane or something.
Yeah, they changed the law as part of the First Step Act. They're supposed to keep you within like 150 miles of your house, your home, whatever your home is in your PSI.
Okay.
But the minute you get in trouble, you're out of there. Like no
They
consideration. You're on the other side of the country,
okay.
So like they fly you on Con Air. Oklahoma City is their central hub for the East. Pahrump is used as their central hub for the West Coast, and that's where they shoot everybody out from. But like I've gone all over. When I got reindicted, I was in Phoenix at a medium, and I was supposed to just go up to Salt Lake, but they took me all the way to the East Coast. I sat over there, went to a couple counties, came back. Like they just fly you all over the place. But yeah, if you get in any kind of trouble and get shipped, they're sending you somewhere far. Like they don't give a fuck about your family or
Or
how close you are to your loved ones.
man,
Yeah.
it makes sense though, but it's also really fucked up. But I can see why they could probably use that as an excuse to say, "Well, you lost them privileges." They look for any leverage they
Right.
can.
No,
You know,
always. That's what it's all about.
so you do prison content creation now. You are in recovery with. Go into that a little bit. You didn't really party. You told me right in the joint. You realized you weren't really trying to live like that. So you had some years under you before you came home, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So I think I told you a little bit about it. I went to a rehab in Mexico. I paid for it out of pocket. Obviously, when you're in the streets, there's no health insurance. So, whatever you want, you got to get on your own. So I felt like I needed that in my life for all the wrong reasons, but I wanted to be clear headed. I knew getting high was standing in the way of some of the goals that I was trying to achieve. But those were goals that I was achieving through the dope game. So me going down there was just me trying to get a, a leg up on other D boys. And I did. I got clean. They gave me a psychedelic drug, a psychotropic that cleaned out my system. I
Yeah.
went down there, I tripped out. I was having visions for like 2 days. But this drug, it's called ibogaine, like it cleanses you. So instead of detoxing, like going through withdrawals, because I was doing opiates and Xanax, instead of going through those physical withdrawals, like your body just cleanses while you're having these visions. So you're not really feeling that shit. And
Mm.
it was like a 6 day rehab. So I did that, and that was in 2008. So for 2 years after that, I would be clean for a couple months, and then I would fuck up for like a couple weeks, then I would get clean, and I would just continuously do that. I did that for like 2 years. But when I got arrested, when I went into the county, like the party was over and I knew it. So that was it for me. And I went through that whole process, and in my head I just kept telling myself, like, yo, you're gonna get out in just a few years. Like, be the ultimate you. You know what I mean? Just an elevated version of whatever you were when you came in. So I didn't do anything that got me off of that path. So
Hmm.
getting high, that wasn't a part of the process. So I didn't
And
do
then
anything. When I caught my RICO indictment, it was more or less the pressure. Like they were putting a lot of pressure on me. They had indicted my kid's mom, were using her as a bargaining chip. It was just a whole lot. And in my mind, they were just trying to crack me. They wanted me to cooperate against a couple people, against Haystack, against one of my other dudes in Vegas. And they were just applying that pressure. And I was telling myself, like, I'm never going to fold. I'm not going to crack. And I'm not going to use a crutch because I'm never going to let you see me weak. So I just embraced that pain. You know, whatever pressure they threw at me, I just embraced it. And I didn't want to dumb it down. I didn't want to numb my senses. I wanted to feel every bit of it. And by the end, I was welcoming it because it was like, bro, I need this because this
yeah,
is how I'm going to remember. Don't ever do this shit again because this is what it feels like. So I went through that court process. It took about 3 years to finally get a deal that was manageable. And then I went into the feds and I just kept that same mentality when I went back through. And I drank a handful of times, but as far as doing drugs, never again.
man, that's what's up. For anybody wondering, a lot of people hearing this probably know who Haystack is. You guys have been somewhat in contact. You've known him before prison. He's a rapper from Tennessee, or where's he from?
Yeah, from Nashville.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to go into that, you can. How you guys know each other, or just the simple fact that you do. I thought that was dope when I found that out. That you guys used to kind of work to, what was it like promoting things together, somewhat.
Yeah, so I had my clothing line. I was introduced to his music before I went into that rehab. He had a song called My First Day, and that shit really hit home. It's about detoxing off of opiates. So I heard that song. I listened to it, a bunch of times when I was at that rehab. So when I got out of the rehab, of course, my mind's running a million miles a minute. I'm trying to figure out how to get these clothes off. And it was 2008 during the recession, so a lot of places weren't picking up new brands. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to sell my merch? Well, I get onto his social media platforms, and there was a number. Call this number for booking information for shows. So I call the number. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get a ticket on 3 shows. He's like, all right, yeah, let me see what's up. I'll give you a call back. Well, about 15 minutes later, I get a call back from Haystack, and I can tell his voice is real distinct. So I know it's him, but he's just like, hey, what's up? We just start chopping it up. I let him know, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I want to do these shows in these different states. So he gives me a ticket for the 3 shows, but we just hit it off. So I'm selling my merch at these shows, and I mean it's going pretty well for me. So from there, it just kind of trickled. It just snowballed into I started my record label. He was trying to leave his label at the time because there were some issues going on there. And we just came together and did a project. So I released an album called Easy to Hate on my label, Six Sound Records. And that was a double disc. I released it October of 2010. Uh, but we've been in contact, on and off ever since. But when the indictment was unsealed, I just quit talking to everybody. So we really didn't talk for maybe the last 10 years that I was bidden. And then when I got out, we got back into contact. So, it's a, man, it's a
Wow.
lukewarm relationship right now. I won't go into the details of that,
Right. I know.
and I might later on, but as of right now, it's something that I'm really
Personal.
not feeling at this point, but hopefully we'll get it figured out. We'll see.
Facts. I know what you mean, bro. Yeah, I didn't. That's why I wanted to see how far you wanted to go into it, but I also wanted to let people know that you know Haystack, and you told me the whole story, and I thought it was fucking wild. A couple days ago, I'm like, that's like some shit you see or hear on TMZ or something. It's crazy. So the fact that
Yeah,
you
no, that's big bro. He's always been big bro. He's my son's godfather. I've always had a lot of love for him and shit. And we've always figured shit out, but it sucks when certain things in your life you feel like it might be time to move on, but you still have that love and connection for whatever it is. You're kind of
right, right,
conflicted. So, we'll see where it goes. I still
to be
have
continued.
some unfulfilled music that was supposed to be made and produced. So, I still might do that, but I don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now.